Hi, today I have Anne Carlson on Founders HQ podcast, and she has come up with a business that is specifically targeting for dog food, and but very unique and very specialized. And I'll share a little bit about what that dog food is about, but it's really making a difference in the world, and I think it's going to be hopefully a trend that's going to continue to be adopted by dog owners. One of the things that on your website it says, what if we could give millions of pets a healthier, happier, and in the process, a happier life, and in the process make our planet healthier too? To answer that, we created a new sustainable dog treat that replaces animal protein with cricket protein. And from what I understand now, you have even different types of insect protein. So, and apparently too, like there's apparently, what is it, 96 million dogs in USA. There's a carbon paw print, so to speak, and by eating these types of food, it makes a big difference to the environment and so forth. So, and apparently this is like really nutritious and delicious dog food that has all the essential vitamins, nutrients, proteins, and so forth. So that's great. And so your background too, you came from consumer brands into, into the pet industry, but you've had a lot of business experience coming into all this. So I'd like to just get started with having you share, what inspired you to create Jiminys, and where does this name come from, and whatever comes to mind.
Sure. Well,
Thanks,
thank you
Anne.
for having me, Alan.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, Jiminys, it's really for me very personal. Uh, I started this company. I was working at one of the big pet foods companies, but then my daughter told me that she didn't want to have kids, and she
Mm.
was talking about what the world would be like by the time those kids grew up, and
Mm.
talking about climate change. And I was like, oh my God, I need to do something different. I need to do something that will build a better future for her. And as I thought about it, I was thinking about, like, well, what do I know where I could do something for that would be real and then have an impact at the same time. And as I was going through all these thought gyrations, I saw this UCLA study that said 25 to 30% of the environmental impact of meat consumption in the US is due to our dogs and cats. And I was
I had no
thinking,
idea.
well, okay, what could we do differently? What could we do something with a different kind of protein rather than the beef or chicken that we're usually using? And
Mm.
I started looking around, saw the UN study that said insects could be the answer to world hunger. I ordered some crickets online, and
Mm-hmm.
I tried feeding them to my dogs. My dogs started drooling, and I was like, okay, we have something here. We can work with this.
Wow. That's incredible. And from there, it's like, how long have you been in business with
So
it?
it's we started in 2017. That's when we launched our first product.
Okay.
When we first started, it was actually more complex than I realized,
Mm-hmm.
because the insect protein was not approved for dogs in the US. So we had to meet with the FDA, work with the scientists, and do all the science behind this to get the insect protein approved. And it took us about 3 years to get to
Mm-hmm.
approval. And
That
at
seems
that,
pretty fast, considering the FDA, I think, can be
yeah,
daunting to work with.
it felt long.
I bet you it did. I bet you. Well, it's congratulations. That's huge. That's a huge step to cross that hurdle, starting a new business and having to wait 3 years to really start generating income and revenue and all that stuff.
Well, and to launch a dog food, which was what we
Yes.
really tried to do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was a bit of a journey,
Yeah.
but it very much worthwhile, because the insect protein, what we've learned is that it is so fantastic for the dogs. It has all of these bioactive compounds, things
Mm-hmm.
like medium chain fatty acids, chitin, antimicrobial peptides, things that actively improve the dog's health. And it's great for allergies, it's great for gut health. And the newest finding is dental. There's an oral health benefit. It actually works on the oral microbiome. So we've
Wow.
got these
That's great.
products that functionally make huge improvements in the dogs at the same time, with a much lighter footprint than
Yes.
anything else that's
Wow.
out there.
That's amazing. And so you've built this business, and do you see like what are the successes you're seeing now? Like in this like let's say in 2025, what's happened that's kind of you know a new approach or a new begin something that's happening that's real positive. I'd
Well,
be curious.
it's actually interesting. We did make a shift at the end of 2024. We
Hmm.
used to lean in with the sustainability messaging.
Yeah.
And at the end of last year, we made a switch to really focus in on these health benefits because we kept
Hmm.
seeing all of these success stories. We had the science to prove it. And so that shift has been huge for us. And our business is growing really fast, and it's
Yes.
growing based on subscriptions. So
Hmm.
about 80% of what we do is online, and
Okay.
our subscriptions are consumers who subscribe and basically get the product each month,
Yeah.
on repeat. It That has been driving the growth, and it's
That's
super exciting because those consumers, just to put it in dollars and cents, they spend
yeah.
33 times more than non-subscribers over the course of a year.
Wow. Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, so it's a
33
really
times.
valuable customer. We
Yeah.
love it because we're solving problems for the dogs. That's why they're sticking around. The dogs love it. It's all good.
And that's really important. Just being a dog owner myself, that I know like dogs are finicky, and then they sometimes get sick of like a particular dog food. Do they? Is it like something that for some reason that dogs just are drawn to it, or and it doesn't? And they're able to continue eating it. Is that kind of?
Yeah, well, it's part of a dog's natural diet. I think that
I
that's
didn't know
that's
that.
one
Yeah.
of the things that we've been helping people understand and see. In fact, there
Mm-hmm.
are certain types of dogs, wild dogs, that are considered insectivores. That's how much
Wow.
the insect plays within their diet. And
Interesting.
when you think about it, it kind of makes sense. I mean, it's plentiful. It complete protein for them, so it really is a superfood for the dogs,
Mm-hmm.
and it's relatively safe for them to hunt for it and catch it, as
Yeah.
opposed to if they were to go hunting for a bigger animal. So
Right.
so it really it just makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. That's yeah. So as far as that was a big marketing shift that you've done, and it sounds like it really made a difference in terms of the revenue generation and sort of the positive outreach and so forth. How do you find these? As far as do you this the persons that the subscribers, what differentiates them from the non-subscribers, if there is a way to determine that?
Well, I think for us, the non-subscribers are just dabbling. They're trying something out. Um,
Okay.
and sometimes they come in and they only try a treat. They haven't tried the food yet.
Mm-hmm.
But the subscriptions are primarily with food and dental chews, things that you give to your dog on repeat.
Right.
So it just, once they try the food, the dogs really do love it. We spent a lot of time making sure that we got the palatability right for the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to make sure not only did they just,
That makes sense. Yeah.
eat it, they dug
They
in.
like it. That's great.
And in fact, we've got stores with our treats that call it cricket crack because the dogs go so
Wow.
for it.
Okay. And I just had a thought about this, is that I don't know if you've ever approached, like, how closely do you work with veterinarians?
Actually, quite closely. We've been
Okay.
doing more and more with the veterinarians as time has gone on.
I just thought about this, as that seems like a really interesting link between, health problems that dogs may be experiencing. Owners are so, they're like family members of dogs, right? So it's just like that connection. But great. Sorry to interrupt, but I just was
No,
curious
no,
about that.
it's fantastic. Actually, we're hitting it from a couple different directions. We're working with the veterinarian organizations. In fact, I did 3 hours of education at the AHVMA, which is the
Wow.
Holistic Veterinarians Conference, as part of their
Okay.
education curriculum, because they need ongoing education every
Mm-hmm.
year. So
Mm-hmm.
that counted as part of their ongoing education, which was very cool. And then
Yeah.
there's an organization called VANE, which is the Veterinary Angel Network, and they have
Okay.
made a big investment in Jiminys. In fact, it's their largest to
Wow.
date. So huge vote of confidence from these veterinarians who have invested
Yeah.
in us.
So they're actually becoming like they have some ownership position within your company.
Yeah, they're shareholders.
Interesting. That's amazing. That's great. That's great. So they believe in it, and so you've got veterinarians that believe in, and then ultimately it's going to reach their, you know, customers or patients of, you know, the dog patients and so forth. That this word of mouth will spread and so forth, and as you do more outreach like that, that's great.
Yeah. Some of the
So.
success stories that we're getting in, people like
Hmm.
record on TikTok or, Instagram that their vet
Yeah.
recommended they try this because they tried everything else and nothing worked. And
Hmm.
it's so great to see a success story like that, where
Yeah.
a dog that had chronic diarrhea, it goes on to our Craven Cricket, and right away it has solid stool.
That's
Forgive me, when you work with dogs, you
no.
talk poop a lot.
Yeah, this is part of the. It's part of the. Yeah, it's a reality of it all.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's one of the
no,
ways we gauge their health, right?
yeah, no. That's fantastic. Have you branched into, let's say, Canada, Mexico, any other? Have you looked at other markets?
We're just a little bit at this stage, so we're kind of
Mm-hmm.
early on all of that. But I think
Mm-hmm.
over time you'll see more and more of that from us.
Just curious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we started in the
And,
U.S. and we really focused on the U.S. And
mm-hmm.
quite frankly, in stores we really focused on the West Coast because
Okay.
we're based out of California, uh,
Yes.
and we've got a nice presence in California, Oregon, Washington, up the coast.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. No, that makes sense. And I mean that I think California is like the fifth largest economy in the world. So it's like, or it had been before. I don't know if it's changed, but so that's a good market
Yeah,
to
it's not a bad
control.
place to start. That's
No, not at all, not at all. Let me see what I'm kind of checking to see what else I want to touch on with you. Do you have any particular like main goals that you want to achieve within the company, or positive outcomes you want that resulting from the goals that you set, you know, for the next couple of years?
Yeah, I mean we're really focused on growth right now.
Yeah.
We also I always have the next product that's in the back of my head that I'd like to produce.
Wow.
So we've got a robust product roadmap as well, and what I'd like to
That's
do is
great.
continue to like hit one of them each year.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we were doing to grow the portfolio to what you kind of see behind me. We've got
Mm-hmm.
dog food, different kinds of treats, and then the dental chews, which are our newest product. We did those because we learned actually from
Mm-hmm.
one of my dogs was sort of the inspiration for it. We learned that the food, or good grub food, was actually having an impact on the dog's teeth. I have a senior dog, and he has white teeth. He had great breath, and all I could figure out why his teeth were so white is because he was eating this food. So I went back to our scientists, and they said, yeah, it's probably the medium chain fatty acids in the food. So we said,
That's
oh,
good.
well, let's go deeper into dental, and we
Yeah.
created a dental chew, and it just won Dog Dental Innovation of the Year.
I saw something like that. That's incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
yeah.
so your company's getting recognized within the industry and so forth. And do you have any much competition of any kind or?
There is some competition. There's some companies, especially in Europe,
Huh.
and there's, we see them starting to show up, but we're the
Hmm.
clear market leader in the U.S.
Okay. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And do they also use insect
Yeah,
protein or
the ones I'm talking about are using insect protein.
specifically? So yeah, it's a
Yeah.
direct competition. Okay, and
What sets us apart is we use both the cricket protein and the grub protein. And
mm-hmm.
the cricket protein is kind of interesting. It plays this unique role in our portfolio. It is the gateway bug. It's the one that people find it's easiest for them to wrap their
It's
head
more
around.
palatable. It's like
Well,
it's
from the
a
dog's perspective, they like
they
both.
don't care.
But from
Yeah,
the consumer perspective,
yeah.
the person that's buying, it's like
Mm-hmm.
the pet parent. Um,
Right.
they're like, oh well, crickets. I'll try that first. But
Yeah.
it's once they go bug, they're like
They go
they
back.
go back and forth.
Yeah, no, that's great. As far as like, what are your challenge? What's your greatest challenges right now? Do you have any particular things that come up or?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's always challenges that there's always something that you're dealing with. But right now, I would say what's in my head the most is the
Hmm.
changes that are happening because of what's happening with AI.
Okay.
And we've done, so much to build our website and build our presence online in such a way that we're optimizing for conversion rate optimization,
Hmm.
search engine
SEO.
optimization, but all of
Hmm.
that stuff is changing because of
Hmm.
AI. And so we're really spending a lot of time thinking about, well, what does that mean for us? What do we need to do to live in that new world?
Right.
And like Amazon, it's sort of recent. They put Rufus onto
Hmm.
the platform. So if you're a consumer, Rufus is the little question and answer thing that comes up. And
Hmm.
so we started thinking about, well, what are the questions that they'll ask? What are the answers that we need to provide? And really
Right.
optimizing our listings so that we can
Good for
answer
you.
those
Yeah.
questions more readily for the consumer.
Hmm.
Starting to think about the same thing for the website, and now, like, what's going to happen with chat GPTs. My understanding is that very soon we're going to see shopping on chat GPT. And so what's
Interesting.
that going to look like, and what do we need to do
Hmm.
to live in that sort of brave new world?
Yeah, that's an interesting shift that could happen. I wonder, you have what Shopify and certain other platforms or Amazon, and now, with I was just looking at the ChatGPT is possibly going to go public in the next year or something like that, and so it's an interesting, because once they get the funding for that and become a public company, it's going to grow even faster, and so
Yeah.
that seems like a not a surprising direction that they're going.
Well, yeah, talk about a revenue generating area. And
Hmm.
and it's reading in everything from the website, so it's uniquely positioned to be able to do that
Yes, it
and
is.
quickly, right?
Absolutely. So yeah, it'll be interesting how they collaborate with companies like yours and make it user friendly so that it assists you as a business owner and so forth, and hopefully it becomes a platform that just helps you get the word out more to who you're trying to reach.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that we're going to be able to share the information that we have, because we're science heavy, and
Hmm. Hmm.
and I just want to make sure that we're able to feed that information into the system so that
Hmm.
it has the real answers when consumers ask questions, because
Absolutely.
consumers are going to dive in pretty deep.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Um, yeah, it's going to be. I think that whole for AI is going to hit different companies and different business sectors in a different way.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's not. What's nice is that you're conscious to it. You're not like been comfortable doing. You're keeping that in mind as a a pathway. You have to look at the possibilities with it, and also how can it negatively affect your business and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's really important. You have to just keep scanning because so many things are changing all the time here,
Hmm.
and adapt. It's all about like asking questions and then being ready to like be nimble.
Yeah. No, and it sounds like you're doing a really good job with that. You mentioned also too you're going back to your product line and so forth. You said that there might be some new products in the horizon. Is that sort of private, or is that something you share, or just ideas, or is it better just to that for now maybe it's too early to disclose or something like that?
Yeah, I generally don't tell people until we're
Good.
ready.
Okay. I won't bring it up. I
But
was just
I'll
curious,
say
Mike.
that we have a wide variety of additional products, and the way I look at things is I'm thinking about the pet owner and their day with their pet, and
That's a good place
where
to.
yeah, where do they need products? And
Yeah.
part of it is knowing that our products work for a dog with allergies, and if they don't have a product that they need that works for dogs with allergies, all the good that we're doing with our product could get messed up because they give them the wrong treat or they give them the wrong dental chew. So that's kind
Right.
of like my inspiration is let's make sure we've got
You
products.
kind of cover the whole product lines that are
Yeah. And
out
then
there. Yeah.
and keep the dog on track, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. I'm just trying to think of kind of a different segue where we can go. But I feel like we talked a little bit about technology. Are there other things like in technology that you're incorporating into your production or into your operations? Um, do you see that as a? You mentioned you added grubs recently to the mix of food,
Yeah.
combinations.
It's not super recent. We've had it since 2020.
Oh, sorry. It's okay. But it's like you're constantly looking at like, well, how do I imagine, like, especially as you scale, and you grow, then you've got to produce quite a bit of
Yeah.
insect protein and stuff like that. And
And supply chain
um,
is really important to us. So we
yes.
have great relationships with our supply chain partners. And
Okay.
the good news is we don't grow the crickets. We work with or grubs. We work with farms that do that.
Oh, okay.
Um, what's kind of exciting is that there are some big players that have gotten into the market now. Players like ADM that are,
Okay.
building out insect farms, and it's actually very cool the way that they're doing it. It's they're using what they call industrial symbiosis, where they
Mm.
put the insect farm sort of in the middle of all of their other facilities. So they heat the place with steam from one. They take the vegetables that they can't use, like because when they're processing, there's like a lot of byproducts. Those
Yeah.
byproducts just pipe directly into the insect farm as the feed for the insects. So something that
Wow.
would have ended up in landfill is
Scrap. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
is getting fed to the insects. And what's really cool is by putting it right in the middle, they don't have to dry it and truck it. It just gets piped over. So it's
Wow.
just like, when you start thinking about it, it's as sustainable as it possibly can be. And then the insects are indoors, so there's no groundwater runoff. Eh,
Yeah.
it's highly efficient.
I just thought of a weird thing. Could this be a human product in some way? It's. Do you know what I mean? Like how, because
It could.
there's so many, because of the, you're talking about beef and the carbon
Yeah.
footprint. It's just like beef or chicken and all that stuff. Sometimes there's limited vegetable protein sources that are, like soy has its ups and, like positive negatives and this and that.
I think that the
Just
tricky thing
curious.
is the Western diet has never really embraced insects. Other parts of the world, like 2 billion people, have insects as part of their diet. But in the
Hmm.
Western culture, it just hasn't been. And so I think it's going to be a bit harder. The pets, it's easy because, they don't overthink it. They're just like, tastes good, I'm in.
Yeah.
But I'm staying in my lane. I'm pet
Okay.
food.
I was just kind of curious if that was like a.
But you know what I do think is going to be meaningful is some of these benefit areas that we've proved out with the insect protein, like
Yeah.
boosting immunity, the gut health, all of these things. I think that there's certain benefits that are so compelling that humans will want them.
That's what I'm thinking. Is it's like it may not appeal to everyone, but there is real health conscious people that, or people that have illnesses that need support in a way that is beyond what's available, like in regular diets and so forth.
Exactly, exactly. And I think things like weight management is
Hmm.
where
Oh,
I see, everybody wants that. And
right.
there's some evidence that
Yeah.
the insect protein is really great for helping to maintain a healthy weight. So, I think that's the kind of thing that would make
Yeah.
a crossover.
Yeah, and I mean, it seems to me that like I mean that particular just that one segment would be, I mean, that would be a game changer if you wanted to make that leap, you know.
Yeah.
But I
I
don't
mean,
know that.
it is great for your gut. In
Yeah.
fact, one of the things I've read is that there's weightlifters who have embraced insect protein because it reduces bloat.
Ah,
So,
so like
it's helping them.
yeah, they wanted especially for competition and they want a certain look. Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So it's just it's a fascinating area that you're in, and it seems like yeah, you definitely are passionate about it and knowledgeable, and I think you have a broad vision of kind of where your company's going to go and kind of what your goals are and what your objectives and all that. So
Try.
I wish, yeah, no, I wish you the best of success. Thank you for being on. I look forward to hearing more about how your business continues to evolve, and it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yes,
Likewise.
great.